Greetings and welcome in, my possum friends. We are Offensive Points, brought to you by the Fantasy Six Pack YouTube channel. As always, I am here with Josh and Billy, and we are going to go over some Week 6 game previews. Already Week 6, guys. How are you feeling?
Yeah, this is the time of year, man. This is the time of year where we start wondering why we are obsessed with this game so much. I feel like me and Joe were talking about this on the way into to not B-dubs, but to football on Sunday, and we were just chatting about how this game frustrates us so much. Like even prior to losses and wins and fantasy football, like it all just makes us angry sometimes. And we all have bad days, we all have bad weeks, and Monday mornings can be tough for some, especially me this week. But you know what? As Jalen Hurts said, good thing it's a short week because it's been hell in my house or something like that.
It's a good.
He said it way more suavely.
Oh, okay. I was about to say that sounds like a pretty quote, but yeah, on to Week 6. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a couple of my teams are in shambles. These injuries, I've decided to not take it very easy on us to start the season out. I feel like we say this every year, so I don't know how many people have come up and said to me like, "Man, it feels like injuries are really hitting hard this year," and I was like, kind of feels like we say that every year about this time of like, man, it feels like injuries are really bad this year. But if your team has not been ravaged, thank your lucky stars. A new week is about to begin, and you just never know who's going to go down. There's people I didn't even know were hurt that are just all of a sudden gone, like Antonio Gibson for the Patriots. Didn't even know he was injured, and all of a sudden torn ACL out for the season. Okay. Sure. I don't know where that came from, but it just kind of popped out of nowhere. So that's awesome.
I don't have the stats in front of me here, but it has to be more injuries this year in the first 5 weeks than it has been in several years because it's
bigger name players for sure.
True. Most of the time it's like offensive linemen or defensive linemen that go down that aren't as big names, but we have lost some really good stars this year already for the season and for, extended periods of time. So hopefully a more healthy Week 6.
Absolutely. And the problem, like with this year, we're not seeing the 2-week injuries, like the low ankle sprain, going to miss 2 weeks, concussion, going to miss a week or two. Now it's like, are they on IR? Or are they not on IR? It just seems very, very.
There's certain players that probably should be on IR.
Well, like Bucky Irving, for example, like everybody was like, oh, he has like some kind of ankle injury. And it's like, nope, it's his arm. It's like, oh, okay. I didn't even know that was a problem, but it's going to keep him out 2 weeks. Cool. Didn't see that coming at all. It's just, I don't know. This has just been a weird year. But you know what? It does kind of feel like this happens somewhat like this every year. So we're going to.
You guys know what next week is?
Week 7.
Sorry to cut you off, Billy, but I'm excited. No, it's Rashee Rice Day next week.
That is true.
Very excited.
Also halfway through the season.
As long as
last chance to get him thrown in on an easy trade.
That's true.
I think if anyone's waited this long, there's no way they're trading him, right? Like
pretty much.
Although
that's pretty much the case. I feel.
You never know. He might be on your free agent watch list though. Like make sure to go swoop him up. I haven't seen him in any leagues, but I could see him being dropped in a small league or something. So always worth checking.
There's been a lot of injuries, so definitely feels that way. All right. Let's get to Week 6 game previews. This week, we're just going to try our best to make sure that everyone knows what are all the things available here. We're going to do our game previews a little differently than we have in the past. We have done it the way of just going down the team and telling you all the players that are playing. But this week, we're going to do a little storyline action based on the game that we're playing. And then we'll talk about a couple of start sits if they're pressing. So let's start out with Thursday Night Football game. It's Josh's Eagles versus the Giants. There is quite a bit of fantasy questions involved in this one, but I think the first one we need to start with Giants, and that is, can Jackson Dart make one of these wide receivers relevant? We haven't seen it yet, but do we think it's coming post-Neighbors?
Yeah, I feel like Wan'Dale has to be rostered, but like at this point, he's not startable. So it's just one of those situations where it's like he should be getting 9 targets or 10 targets a game, but he's getting like 5 or 6, and it just doesn't feel right to even get close to your lineup. Like not even slot him in as a flex at this point. So I don't know. Like maybe it's Theo Johnson, I guess. Like counting him as a receiver, there has been an uptick for him. Obviously, the 2 touchdowns last week, but it's been 5 and 6 catches each game. And those targets just keep going up. So if there's anyone, it's him who's startable right now. But like at the moment, like I still feel like you got to hold Wandale. Like you can't let him go at the moment. I think is Slayton out too of this game, so like I could understand why you're like interested in starting him, Wandale. That is, and I just don't know if it's time yet. Like it could work out, but you could also be staring at a dud all week. So I don't know if you guys think there's someone else that's waiting in the wings here.
I mean, Jackson Dart loved the tight ends. He liked Theo, like you said, and Daniel Bellinger had 4 for 52. I mean, so he gave you 9 points out of nowhere. I wouldn't bet the farm on that continuing, but you would think that they would make a conceded effort to at least try to get, like Jalen Hyatt, for example, played a lot of snaps last week, didn't produce hardly anything, if anything at all. So I would like to, if I was in a deeper league, like stash a guy like Hyatt, but until Slayton's back, I don't think anybody is viable.
Yeah, so I think that kind of naturally moves us to the running backs, where Scatterboo kind of seems like he's probably got the workload for a little bit going forward here. I mean, he's just an animal, but Tyrone Tracy's back. And with the lack of pass catchers they already have, definitely seems like they could get Tracy involved as well out there. I think if you have Tracy, I don't think you can start him with confidence this week. I know the Eagles aren't super great at stopping the running backs, but I think with the way Scatterboo's been playing, I think you're going to be looking at your guy only having 4 points, 5 points, and being like, I probably should have played someone else with Tracy. So I know you've probably been holding on to him. He's probably been sitting on your IR. Don't think it's going to smart to put him in this next game. At least we got to see it first.
I'm actually worried about starting Scatterboo, by the way, because I think that roles could be reversed real easily. Scatterboo has not ran efficiently. He's been involved in the passing game, but he got to get the ball moving somehow in the passing game. I could see Tracy cutting into that and Scatterboo getting his same 15 for 50 stat line. And then all of a sudden that's 5 points instead of like 10 with the catches in the yard. So I'd be nervous about Scatterboo. Not, once again, I know you can run on the Eagles, but like that split's going to hurt in the future. And Tracy's the way more explosive player. So I could see that split being more even, if not eventually going to Tracy's line.
The problem is Jackson Dart loves Scatterboo. That's the problem. So I think the coaches are not going to take Scatterboo out in favor of Tracy just because they should be doing that. If Dart likes Scatterboo, Scatterboo is going to be the guy out there.
I don't know. I think Tracy gives you a more explosive element to this offense, and they clearly need that because, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's just Tracy, Scatterboo, and Theo, to be completely honest with you going forward.
It's probably what we're looking at here, honestly. Like if we had to break it all the way down, that's probably what it is.
I agree. This running game's not scary with just Scatterboo. Like at the end of the day, like yes, he's a grinder and he can go out there and get 2.5 yards, which is great. And he's been involved in the passing game. It's the only reason I would even be willing to start him right now. But with this Tracy lineup, I think both are on benches for me this week, unless I'm in desperate need, which we probably are because there's a lot of injuries.
And a couple of bye weeks also that are affecting teams. But the injuries are mainly the issue here because even the guys you picked up on potentially waivers now are just not even a thing anymore. So, yeah, kind of just have to go for it. But
rosters.
Exactly. Wide receiver-wise, yeah, Jalen Hyatt, no. Bo Collins, no. Wandale Robinson, probably not. Shifting to the Eagles quickly, I know I put this on here probably to just trigger Josh a little bit, but, kind of have to say it anyway. Are we buying or selling Saquon Barkley? Josh, I already know your answer because you're Homer. Joe, are you more in this is redraft, by the way, not dynasty, buy or sell mode with Saquon Barkley right now?
I'm in buy mode with Saquon Barkley. We know what he's capable of. I think during the preseason, we brought up the fact that Saquon had a ton of 80-yard, 70-yard, 60-yard touchdowns last year. We haven't really seen that this year. So this is a good time because, people spent their second overall, third overall pick on him. He's not producing that way currently. He's still fine. He's a good guy to trade for. I made a move for him last week before his 9-touch game. So he's very attainable, and I would be making a move to try to get him because we always preach when the weather gets cold, these running backs start heating up, and we're about to hit that time.
Yeah, and to make my point known, just real quick, you don't Saquon. Yes, he's not lived up to your number 3 pick overall, but he's definitely lived up to a first-round pick considering some of the other options that you've had. You can count yourself lucky in that sense because there's been some complete busts in the first round, especially later. Obviously, if you got Puka, you're probably the happiest out of everyone, but Saquon getting 16, 17 points a game is not a problem for me. Like at the end of the day, like I'd love the 30s. I'd love the 80-yard touchdowns, and they will come at some point or another, maybe not 80 yards anymore this season, but he did have himself a 50-yarder last week. So it's coming, and this team's going to figure it out. The offensive coordinator's not good at all, so they're going to have to figure out a way to make play calls, whether that's either getting rid of him or expanding his playbook a bit, or Sirianni taking over, God forbid. But this offense is fine. Fortunately, actually dodged all the injury bugs outside of a couple linemen here and there. So,
okay. Well, thank you for the homer take. I actually agree. I think that the problem with the Eagles right now is there's an identity crisis on offense. They don't know what they want to be. Sometimes it looks like they want to be a pass team, which doesn't work. And then sometimes they want to be a run team, but then you give Saquon Barkley 6 carries in the last game, and it's not like it was a blowout or they were playing catch up the whole time. There was no reason for them to abandon the run like that. The problem is, again, like Josh said, the offensive coordinator is calling terrible games. Like he doesn't clearly know what's going on. They're not using what they did last year effectively. And they have an identity crisis and they need to figure it out. And so I agree. I think Saquon Barkley is a buy right now because sooner or later they're going to figure out that, hey, we probably need to just run the ball and then we can pass every now and then and use it more effectively than just letting Jalen Hurts rip it, which doesn't make any sense for this team.
I just want to let you know, and I'm just going to get off my soapbox here very shortly, but they do this every year with the Eagles, the media. We hype up, why isn't this working? Why isn't that working? They don't do this with Mahomes. They don't do this with Josh Allen, who lose close games.
The Mahomes conversation's happening this year, by the way. It definitely is. I've listened to a lot of media. They are definitely talking about it. Why he is still an MVP favorite, now that is boggling my mind because what has he done to do that? That is the only piece that I'm like, what is happening in Vegas right now? Unless they just want to take people's money. Which makes sense.
We've been talking about the Eagles' struggle since week 1. Oh, well, they won, but they didn't do it very well. We didn't do it the right way. Then Jalen Hurts can't throw for 300 yards, and then Jalen Hurts throws for 300 yards. Well, he can't throw for 300 yards and not run the ball. And it's like, it's just literally, it's always something. People hate the Eagles, and that's fine. It's fun.
I'm just going to throw something out here. The Eagles are bored. And I think there are two situations with the Eagles right now. They're bored and they're toying with teams until they actually have to play, which they barely escaped the Rams. Obviously, last week they didn't escape thanks to the referees. But the other option that I think is they just went deep into the postseason for the Super Bowl. They're trying to keep the team healthy. And they're like, we're just going to play it real simple and do the bare minimum, kind of like the Patriots used to do and the Chiefs did recently.
Chiefs did last year. That's exactly what the Chiefs did last year. Exactly
so I think that's what we're seeing with the Eagles, and they're starting to see like, hey, we're not just going to get away with this. So we got to start playing, and I think that they're still 4-1. There's no issues on this team.
They've also had a really tough schedule too. This first 5 games. I say what you want about the Cowboys, but everyone else's NFC or whatever championship winner of their conference, like outside of the Broncos, who are playing like it right now. So it's just funny. I laugh every time I see a media story. Is Jalen Hurts even good? And we learned many years ago that Jalen Hurts is good. I think Billy
Jalen Hurts is good.
It does. Jalen Hurts is good. It's a solid shirt, solid way of life. I think the Eagles win this game, but if the Giants win, I think we talk about something different next week.
We could talk about how bad the Eagles are if we lose this game.
I'm not saying that they're being bad. I'm just saying if the Giants win, there's problems.
100%. I picked the Giants.
Eagles. Let's go to London.
Okay. I really thought you were going to say something different.
No, I do love Jackson Dart, man.
I want to see Jackson Dart succeed, just not this week.
Nah, man, his aura is fantastic.
He is a fun guy to watch.
Definitely. All right. Well, for the London game, we've dumped off at least another one bad team in the Jets versus the Denver Broncos. Look, I don't know what to say about the Jets. They don't feel like a bad football team when you're watching them. However, they just are a bad football team. Like their defense is horrific. Well, the penalties are bad too, but their defense hasn't had a turnover. There's been 5 games. They don't have a turnover. That's an issue.
They've had a lot of injuries too.
That's a problem.
And take the defense aside. The offense has been shooting themselves in the foot, or as I can't remember who said it, shooting themselves in the face. I think it was Breece Hall. They literally every single time they need a drive, they're going to get it. There's a 15-yard penalty against them. And it's like, it's their fault. Like you can't even say this is the ref's fault. Like it's their fault. It's a false start or it's a pass interference offensively. Like it's always something. And it's like Fields is trying his best over here, throwing for 280 yards every single game and running for another 50. And it's just like, he looks great. Honestly, Brees looks great. Garrett Wilson looks great. And then Mason Taylor even is at this point kind of coming into his own and looks great. And it's like, how can that offense not win a football game? Like, and it's just because penalties, shooting themselves in the foot every drive they need to capitalize on.
The good news is the Jets are the perfect fantasy football team because you have a mobile quarterback who's they're always going to be at a deficit or at least a close game. So you have a mobile quarterback that's going to get points both ways. You got, it's Brees Hall, it's Garrett Wilson, and Mason Taylor's really coming on too. So that you're going to have a team that's got to play the entire game, and we know the roles. There are no other roles on this team. So
also that fourth quarter drive by Fields when they were like down by 20 and they let him go and play a whole like 2 different drives and get an extra 90 yards and a touchdown was just thank you, everybody. Like, thank you, the coaches, for letting us fantasy guys have just an extra couple points here and there because it was very helpful at the end of the day.
It was. I mean, obviously, like Garrett Wilson is like a dark horse, like really good fantasy asset this season, just because like they're always desperate at the end of the game, and Justin Fields doesn't trust anyone else to catch the ball other than Garrett Wilson or Joe's favorite player, Mason Taylor. So Mason Taylor is a guy now. Like he is obviously the wide receiver 2 on the team. He's tight end. But I think he has to be rostered and started in all formats because like the tight end position has low key been terrible this season. It has been not good at all. And Jake Ferguson is like doing really well right now, but he's only doing well because CeeDee Lamb isn't out there. And once CeeDee Lamb comes back, I don't even know what to make of the position. But Mason Taylor, if you have him, you picked him up on waivers, I think you might have a smidge of a low-key league winner on your hands.
I think you do. And it's hilarious because Mason Taylor has 20 more receptions than any other wide receiver on this team outside of Garrett Wilson. So it's
not even close.
No, it is Wilson and it is Taylor. And you can ride that for as long as you want.
It's kind of like the Rams or the Eagles. Like they have just their 2 guys and they're just going to use the 2 guys. And you know what? For fantasy, I can respect the hell out of that because it makes it a whole hell of a lot less confusing for the rest of us to try to figure this out on the fly. On the Broncos side of things, obviously J.K. Dobbins he's still not getting the love that he should be. People are still like R.J. Harvey, but it's like, come on, guys. What more do you need to see that Dobbins is the guy? The guy I want to talk about on this team, and we kind of talked about him last week, is Troy Franklin. Do we trust Troy Franklin? Do we think it's going to be boom or bust? Or he's only had 1 boom, so it's not really been boom or bust. Mostly been bust. But I just don't know what to make of this receiving core because it seems like other than Sutton and Ingram gets targets, seems kind of like up in the air. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be Mims this whole time, and I still have hope for it, but it's like he's more of a deep shot guy, right? But Troy Franklin's actually low-key put together a good season and mostly not getting the catches either, and it's not really his fault. I think a lot of the, dump-off passes are to him after, Bo Nix is scrambling, but the targets are there, man. Like if he can just catch 1 or 2 more balls, that's a 12, 13 point game. If one of them's a touchdown, it's 18 points. Like he's right there to being fantasy relevant. And I think he's a good flex play at any point. And just kind of seems like he's going to be something moving forward. Like there's got to be another guy there. Ingram's getting a little bit more involved now, but it's not like fully there. And it's really just Ingram and Troy Franklin outside of Cortland Sutton catching balls at least. So I feel like I'm pushing for Troy Franklin at this point for more so than Ingram. I'd love to see Ingram hit, but it very much seems like it's a half and half use of Ingram, whether they're trying to keep him healthy or whatever.
Yeah. Troy Franklin's like a poor man's Darnell Mooney at this point. I mean, he's going to be serviceable some weeks. He's more of like a bye week guy than anything else. I don't think he's ever going to work his way into, a must start or must flex consideration. But you brought up Ingram. I mean, the Jets have given up 2 touchdowns to Jake Ferguson, and who'd they give the other one up to? Darren Waller. They gave up 2 touchdowns to 2 tight ends this year. So Evan Ingram's in a great spot this week. Definitely in streaming.
The targets are definitely going up. He's at like 6 or 7 targets a game at this point, the last 2 games since he keep returning from the injury. So it's definitely a good flex tight end spot. Like we said, no tight end is really off the board. I mean, I flexed Theo Johnson last week, and I was just lucky to hit those 2 touchdowns. So you never know with tight ends crapshoot. We got Taysom Hill back too. We'll talk about him in a little bit. I mean, tight ends getting exciting again.
Definitely seems that way.
I think tight
all
end's
right.
great again.
I actually think the Jets are going to win this game. As soon as I heard that Denver spent the hours after the game against Philly riding around in their bus blasting Meek Mill and Rocky theme music, their eye is not on the prize here. They did all that gloating, and then they got on a plane, and now they're going to play in London. The eye is off the ball. I think this is a perfect moment for the Jets to sneak a weird one out here.
Yeah, Knicks has been kind of shaky at best anyway this year. It's kind of a little bit too much to be gloating at this
just
point.
feels like a hangover game. Like it just,
the Jets are overdue.
Who cares? We're going to London, and that's also true. One of these games, Fields is going to have a Fields game. Feels like,
yeah,
I don't know,
like a 50-pointer. I mean, he's been playing pretty good, but I think it's coming. I'm going to go with the Jets just because I just don't think they can lose anymore. Like outside of my anger towards Denver right now.
I'm going to go with Denver because the Jets are 0-5.
Fair enough.
That's a strong take there.
I don't think London's going to fix them.
All right.
I think Big Ben helps.
Back to the state side, we're talking Seattle versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville, one of the weirdest 4-1s of all time, I feel like.
I love it. It was a fun game Monday night.
It was a fun game because Trevor Lawrence is ass, but boy, does it look fun it looked funny when he's winning games by falling down and then running into the end zone.
By the way, he just bought himself 2 more years just with that performance of beating the Chiefs and these last couple games.
If you literally had a horse playing the position, I think it would look a lot like what Trevor Lawrence does, like a literal horse.
Like a literal Bronco, like bucking around, like just looking crazy. Like, man, what is going on back there?
Really you can't pick your nose with a hoof, though. That's the problem. He was all in that bad boy. It was pretty
he looked like he was looking into the camera, too. But I don't know how.
By the way, he did. He was like, look at me. I'm picking my nose right now. But if Travis Hunter happens to have a 4-reception game, is the media just going to lose their absolute mind?
Probably.
Yeah,
we're almost at the breaking point with 3 receptions. They were great. I mean, he's totally a world beater. They need to get him out there more. But God, if he catches 4, I think the internet might break.
Guys, they unleashed him by throwing him one ball, one deep ball, and it really unleashed him.
Well, it showed what he can be. It's just the problem is that he doesn't get enough volume to actually
thrown ball. It was a great catch on a bad ball.
Anything Trevor Lawrence does is mediocre. However, we found out this week Brenton Strange, who was taken out in the first quarter, second quarter, one of the 2 quarters. He's now on the IR, going to be gone. Who do we think in place, because Trevor Lawrence did love him some Brenton Strange, who do we think steps up in his place to take these targets?
You know who it should be?
I think it's Travis Hunter.
I think it is. Joe, I think you might be right.
I actually disagree. I think it should be Brian Thomas. You know, the guy who you're
okay.
All-star, and you're giving 6 targets a game. Now, he did drop another one last week and Monday night, which was embarrassing. It was like a comeback route too. Like he had all the time in the world to catch it. But you're giving him 6 targets a game. Like that, it's just not enough. Like I don't either give it to him or give it to Travis Hunter, and just pick somebody and give him 10 targets just to see what happens. Like I think it'd be Brian Thomas, who's kind of the slot receiver guy, but that'd be too smart.
Trevor Lawrence is not built to play this game smartly, by the way. He's just not. But
yeah, it's definitely not the tight end guy. I seen him playing. Was it Johnny Mutt?
Yeah. Well, Hunter Long has been a guy that people have been adding, but I'm like, I don't think Hunter Long is going to get 6 receptions. Probably going to catch 1 ball. So,
I think Travis Hunter plays that middle short pass game perfectly for them. Get him the ball in space and let him work.
Yeah.
It's the same thing Brenton Strange was getting, so why not?
Yeah, I don't care who it is. Just throw it to your stars, man. Jesus, it's hard to watch sometimes. Like, especially if you have Brian Thomas or Travis Hunter on your team, which most people don't have Hunter.
True.
By the way, Seattle gets Emmanuel back. this week,
Okay.
but Witherspoon, Woolen, and Julian Love might be missing this game. So this could be the Brian Thomas game that we've been waiting for. I'm crossing my fingers for it.
He's got Trevor Lawrence at QB, so we'll see, Joe. Don't get too crazy.
Crossing my fingers.
Before we move on from this game, Joe, you want to sell Kenneth Walker? You want to walk us through that real quick? Wow, I didn't even do that on purpose.
Yeah. So Zach Charbonnet missed 2 games and basically has played the same exact amount of snaps all year as Kenneth Walker, and also Sam Darnold has only targeted the running backs 14 times this entire season. That's everybody that has played the running back position. We're not seeing the receiving work for Kenneth Walker that we're used to seeing. And it seems that Charbonnet is your goal line back. So, yeah, Kenneth Walker is going to get you 9 points a week. I would sell him on that name value alone because everyone loves Kenneth Walker. I do too myself. But I think you can get a good haul for Kenneth Walker just on the name value. And then be happy the rest of this. Get a guy that's going to get you 14 points a game. It's going to be so much better.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I can agree with that.
I will say Charbonnet is just like getting that 11 to 13 touches a game, and he's doing honestly fine with it. Like he's in flex consideration for me at pretty much all times, just because outside of the game that he got injured in and didn't perform in against Pittsburgh, literally 10 points a game in PPR. And he's not even really getting catches. It's mostly yards and touchdowns. Touchdown actually in 3 or 4 games. It's pretty great. Kind of sucks for Walker, though, I will say. So kind of back to the whole get rid of Walker. Maybe wait for a good game. This might be it for against Jacksonville, but we'll see.
Could be. Just before we move on, if you play team defense, Jacksonville is a gift from the heavens for you. First of all, how dare you for playing team defense? However, if you do, Jacksonville's been an extremely good defense so far. They've got 14 turnovers. Jets have 0. That's the way football goes sometimes, folks. Just happens that way, but Jacksonville has been a very good team defense this year.
Jordan Lewis, Andrew Wingert's been Studley. I mean, Devin Lloyd, we wrote him off completely.
Devin Lloyd might be the player of the year. They wouldn't do it, but because he just doesn't have the name for it, but he might be the depoy right now if they had it through.
At the moment, he should be 99-yard interception return, and I'm back-to-back games of interception returns, touchdowns.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah,
he's legitimately keeping the team afloat.
The craziest thing was
Trevor Lawrence wishes.
He was gassed after 20 yards and still ran the next 70. You could see it.
He outran Tyquan Thornton, who runs a 2 to 8 or something. He's
I know there were some blockers there, but it didn't seem like he should have made it into the end zone.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
You know what's funny though, just to derail us even more here?
Love that.
Joshua Hines Allen has done not a damn thing for your IDP leagues.
Nope.
And it's crazy. I don't understand.
Boy, am I not going to bench him, though. I know the moment I bench him, he's going to have a 30-point game, and I'm going to regret everything in my life. Jacksonville keeps it rolling. I think they win this game, sadly.
I think Seattle. I think Seahawks win this game.
Darnold across the country to Jacksonville, no thanks. I don't want any part of that bet. But
it's fair. I get it. Seattle's been playing some really close games, though, as well. And I think this game is close. And I think Jacksonville, I'm going to bet on Sam Darnold over Trevor Lawrence somehow. Don't know what happened to me.
Well, fair enough. All right, next game on the list.
Monster week this week.
Thanks, Joe. JSN is quite a good player, so I hope so. Although
I hope you're starting him.
Good defense. Anyway, moving on to the Chargers versus Miami. I think the big story here is the Chargers are down yet another running back. They already lost Najee for the year. Now they lose Omarion Hampton for at least 4 weeks. I don't know. I've seen some people say 5 to 6, but we'll see. Maybe it's only going to be 4. The problem is now that leaves a gaping hole at a running back position that has a lot of value for this team because apparently Herbert's never going to throw the ball again after he lit it up the first couple weeks. So the question is, Hassan Haskins, Kamani Vidal, Nyheim Hines, who got signed to the practice squad, not on the active team yet. Who do we trust, or is it just is this just fool's gold? Whoever you put out there is not going to be good. Is that kind of that's what I'm thinking, but what do you guys think?
It's fool's gold. I think you're absolutely right about this. I mean, we saw Haskins get essentially all of the work with the starting offense after Omarion went down and then Vidal came in at the end of the game. So there's that. We like the explosiveness of Vidal, but he's small. He's not going to get it done. Haskins, even though he went to Michigan, yeah, there's a connection with Harbaugh. He's not an NFL running back, or he is, but not great. I would be stashing Nyheim Hines if I'm in a deep league just because he's free. I mean, the amount of fab budget that people blew on Vidal and Haskins was astronomical, and I'm going to be laughing when it's gone.
Yeah.
I actually have a slightly different take. I think there's money here. I just don't know who it's going to be, and I think it's going to be a week-to-week thing. Like, I think it's going to be like what the Cardinals did, where DeMarcado hit one big 80-yard touchdown, and that could be Vidal. Hopefully he'll actually hold on to the ball and make it into the end zone. But it could be the Michael Carter who kind of no one saw coming as well, and that could be the Vidal or the Haskins at that point. I think rostering them, very important, because you got 4 weeks of running back, potentially, if you get the right one. But at the end of the day, like, there's going to be some miss. I think what's going to happen is Haskins or Vidal will have a good week this week, right? And next week, it's going to flip-flop. And you're just going to always be playing the wrong guy. So I feel like there is value there, and it's more of like a dice roll than oh, yeah, I got the guy. Like, there was no guy, and now Hines is in the mix as well, and it could be him as well, because there has been a lot of passes to the running back. But my biggest concern is, why can't Herbert play football like he did week 1? And week 2, even, for that matter, but he hasn't had 2 touchdowns since week 2. And you don't even have a running. They weren't even using the running back in those games. And then running back kind of came back. He still threw for 300 yards against Denver, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And then now it's just like, you don't even have a running back anymore. You play the Giants and Washington, 2 bad defenses, or at least, bad secondaries.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. It's weird.
I don't know what to make of it. There's also the option that they may trade for a running back too. Like, Damian Pierce, have your agent on the phone, my guy. Like, what are we doing? Healthy scratching every week isn't doing anything for anyone.
Makes no sense.
So I know him, or like one of the dudes in Miami. Like, there's got to be somebody in Miami that would be willing to head on out of there. So I don't know. I think they need to make a move.
You're telling me Mostert wouldn't like to get out of Miami right now? Like, perfect guy to get rid of. You got some young guys behind him.
He's in Las Vegas, but I mean, he wants out of there too.
Right. Yeah.
Not like he's getting much work there either. So, yeah, I don't know. Or Green Bay, they've got a couple guys. Like, they got a pretty deep bench of random.
There are running backs out there. The Eagles just got Tank Bigsby, and he's rotting on the Eagles roster. Like, that's still one of the weirdest things. I'm like, man, Bigsby, you could have gone to Arizona. You could have gone down to the Chargers. Like, it just doesn't make any sense why the Philly went for it. But good for them. He's supposed to be a kick returner, and I don't think he's returned a single kick.
Probably he's learning the scheme.
I wouldn't trust that either.
Well, no, since the scheme doesn't exist, they have to, it's going to take a little while to learn.
Him running. On the Miami side of the ball, I don't think there's really much to say. Waddle seems like he's going to be a solid target getter. Now, if he's going to repeat what he did last week against Carolina every week, I don't know. It's kind of tough to say. We hope, but maybe that was just a fluke because it's Carolina. This team's just kind of dead water. I don't know, because they're not going to fire Mike McDaniel before the end of the year. So I think they're just going to kind of lame duck this season, and you're just going to have to get what points you can. Hopefully Achane can come back to the same plane as the rest of us. That's the only part that's a little weird right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have much to add. This team's just sad.
It is.
Do you think this Darren Waller thing is sustainable? Because he has 9 targets in 3 touchdowns. I
don't know.
It seems like it's going to be sustainable, but I'm a little confused.
Tight end is such a hellscape right now that I'm almost saying, yeah, you might as well ride it out. But, like, I swear to God, if Darren Waller ends up being like tight end 1 in fantasy, I don't know. Maybe that's it for me, because how in the world is a guy that hasn't played in 2 years come off and be the tight end 1 in fantasy? Like, I'm not going to be able to reconcile that, like, and know what we're doing here. Like, what are we doing here?
Darren Waller's career, and I say career because it's still going, ended in such a weird fashion where he wasn't, like, done. He was still playing pretty good football, and then he went to the Giants, and then I think he was just like, nah.
He didn't want to play with Daniel Jones. Like, it was, like, completely understandable. Then he dropped a rap song outside of the Raiders stadium, which was bizarre. They filmed out in the parking lot. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that dude, but by all means, I guess if you start him, but it's very weird.
I'm just, from a dynasty perspective, he's a 32-year-old tight end. And he could be, I mean, we saw Jonnu Smith have an incredible role last year for the tight end position here. I'm just like, what are we doing? Because if you're going for a championship, I mean, I would almost say if you can get anything for him, take it. But at the same
for
time,
sure.
it's like,
if you can sell him,
at the same
you can
time,
probably
it's
get
like if
something
he
out of it.
sustains this, you could have a league winner on your hands. So I'm having a hard time.
If you're fighting for a championship, you're keeping him. If you're like one of those teams that's like sitting around 6th, 5th place, you could probably trade for him. If you're any lower than that, get rid of him. Like there is no point in him being on your team this year because it's kind of like that Cordarrelle Patterson year from a couple years back. It's like get what you can because that dude is not going to be doing this much longer. So yeah, I think it's a sell.
If you have any elite tight end above him, just sell him right now and figure out another backup later because that's what you're using them at. You might start him in a flex situation. I'm thinking like dynasty leagues, like where I'd actually flex them in a league. And I was just like, yeah, that works, whatever. But like, I still have Goddard who's doing fine. And it's like, I can get rid of Waller and not have an issue.
True. Chargers win.
I hope so, man. I'm going to pick the Chargers, but man, they're sad to watch sometimes. Like, I know they're doing fine. It just feels bad.
This feels like they're going to force Herbert to throw the ball because there's just simply no one that they trust to run 20 times a game now.
Yeah, it's going to be a weird split of running back. That's going to be the best thing to watch on this game.
Yeah.
Dolphins are going to win because my new friend at the Post in Baldwin, Missouri is a huge Dolphins fan. So.
Okay. Well, there you go. I think the Dolphins need to be kind of wink, wink, nudge, nudge, telling the coach not to do that because they need to reload. But if they win, I guess. All right. We're headed to Baltimore for the Rams versus the Ravens. We have another week of Cooper Rush, who is horrible with a capital H. Basically, the only thing I wanted to mention of this team is Baltimore seems like they're on the verge of a fire sale. Like they're hinting at it very, very quietly. Mark Andrews has been mentioned as potentially being on the trade block. Basically, I just want to say, are the Baltimore Ravens a buy low, like the whole team? And is Mark Andrews being sold? Is that a guy that we need to buy into? Is Isaiah Likely a guy we need to be buying into? I basically just like, what are you guys thinking about the Baltimore Ravens right now as a fantasy team, basically?
I agree with the tight ends buying into those because if one was to get traded, which would probably more than likely be Mark Andrews, then they both immediately boost in value, I imagine, because Mark Andrews is going to a new team where he's going to get his targets and then likely finally gets the workload that he deserves. Zay Flowers, unfortunately, isn't going anywhere. The only other person that I could see being traded is Henry, and that just feels wrong because, other than the fumbles, it's like you can't get rid of a legend. And so, yeah, that's fire sale's strong, but I could see Mark Andrews being moved. I know they tried to talk about how that whole last play of the NFL or AFC Championship game didn't make or break him, blah blah blah. But there was so many rumors about it, and there's got to be rumors swirling at 1-4 at this point. So the team's in shambles, and yes, they're hoping for a comeback. But if November hits and they're still looking in that deficit column, then they're probably going to be moving on with Mark Andrews. And I think both of these tight ends are worth. Likely's free. You can go pick him up right now in pretty much every league you're in other than deep dynasty leagues. Mark Andrews is, for sale by anyone who has him. So go get him.
Well, I would definitely be trying to buy Zay Flowers. He had a huge week 1, but he hasn't done a whole lot since then. I would say from an NFL perspective, teams really need to be looking at Derrick Henry. Like you said, Mark Andrews, some of these older guys on this team, because it's going to be really telling if Lamar misses this week. It looks like he's going to, and then they hold him out through the bye, because if they hold him out, they're pretty much forfeiting the season at this point with Cooper Rush. So I think that kind of opens the door for teams to say, hey, what can I get for Derrick Henry? What do you want for him? And he would be awesome on a team like the Chargers or the Bears or, one of these other teams that's like kind of in the middle trying to make a push here. I think would be a good move for them.
I don't think they're selling yet, though, right? Like they got Chicago, Miami, Minnesota, Cleveland, Jets, Cincy out of the bye. Like they could win all those games, hypothetically.
The problem is this defense is historically bad. Like they're horribly bad.
Makes no sense.
It's the most insane thing. Not this bad, though.
No. I was going to say, the injuries hurt, but at the end of it all, they should be playing better as a unit. This defense, exactly. I thought, was one of the best on paper, and I feel like every time I say that, it's always wrong.
It does kind of seem that way. Not just you. I'm just saying, like, when we look at it and we're like, yeah, it kind of looks like, no, it ends up being this like this. Yeah,
The
I do
only
think you
thing
can
saving them is their division. Sorry, Bill.
Well,
The only thing,
that's true. Exactly.
so, but I don't know. I think if they're like 1-6, 1-7, sell away.
You know what this makes possible though? The Joe Burrow comeback to win the division and make the playoffs.
The problem is he's not coming back to like December, so I don't think he's gonna have time.
All we need is Joe Flacco to hold on for a
Joe
few
Flacco
games
to hold on to the reins until then. Yeah, I guess that could happen.
It's possible. I don't know if we'll get there, but
yeah. And then the Rams are just kind of start everybody. I mean, there's no one you should be benching that's or has a Ram uniform on. I'd even say like Tutu Atwell. If you got a flex spot, maybe throw him in there. He could definitely have like a 70-yard touch.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
We see these teams play Baltimore every week and have everyone on the team go off. If I have these guys, I'm considering putting anyone
Nobody
in
has
because anyone can go off. But you could. You might.
Shit.
If you're in a 16-team league, you could consider it.
Fair enough. Dynasty leagues as well. You probably have Tutu Atwell.
Dynasty leagues will allow. Redraft, do not put Tutu Atwell in your lineup unless you are desperate.
You know what? I'm thinking.
The good news, though, is Cooper Rush gave Zay Flowers a decent game, at least.
Yeah,
so if you have Zay, you're not panicking too much.
No, it's just Cooper Rush's. Whatever. We don't need to get into this. Rams win.
Rams win.
For sure. All right. On to Arizona versus Indianapolis. Don't have a ton of storylines from this game. The DeMarcado non-touchdown was extremely disappointing. Everyone that wrote off Michael Carter being the starter was kind of funny. And then, ended up doing that. Look, what do you guys want to say about this game? Because I've kind of just been like, okay.
The one thing I've learned is
if Kyler misses, is Jacoby Brissett better for Marvin Harrison Jr.?
I don't think so. I like where your head's at. I don't think so.
All right. Well, actually, we're going on similar topics here. The one thing I've learned is Marvin Harrison is not the issue here. It's the lack of targets. We chose to. They don't choose to throw him the ball often enough. And I don't know. Marvin Harrison hasn't looked great throughout his year and a half of football. But my man's catching 60-yard bombs. He's catching touchdowns over dudes. He's making people he's making posters out here of different defenders, and we're not giving him the ball enough. I need 3-4 more targets, one more deep shot. He needs to be out there. Not to mention, who knows if that turns into a PI. That can completely change the pace of the game. I know they leaned heavily on the run game against Tennessee, which they thought they were winning the game. Makes sense. But he's not getting enough targets as it is. And I think we realize now that it's not only him. He can have bad drops here.
It's the whole team. Well, as soon as James Conner went down, the fundamental part of this team goes away. Now you've just got to make things work with Trey Benson, and Trey Benson goes down immediately. So it's kind of a lost season because Kyler can't really do what he needs to do if there's not a solid run game to back it up. And so I don't know. I don't really see Arizona headed anywhere good. And then Indianapolis has the best running back in the league right now. And I don't know if you can trust Daniel Jones to start. I don't think I'm in that part. But these wide receivers, Pittman, Alec Pierce, I think, is out. So maybe Josh Downs is a guy that could come to fruition here. But I don't know. I just haven't seen enough from Daniel Jones to trust anyone other than Pittman.
No. And speaking of Josh Downs, I would be trying, if you're in a dynasty league, to acquire Josh Downs because he only played 50% of the snaps last week, pretty much led the team in receiving for all intents and purposes. And he's a very good player. It's not going to take long for them to get on the same page and him to get more playing time. He had that weird hamstring injury at the beginning of the year, so I'd be trying to get Josh Downs. He's
a good person to throw in a dynasty trade. I'm not looking for it this year, but in the future when they have their quarterback of the future, I don't know when that is, but Downs should be there. I don't know if Pittman will be at that point, but we'll see. But Pittman's looking great this year.
Yeah, this is delayed, by the way.
It's good. We needed it.
Forgot to put that in there for old Danny Dimes.
I can't pick anyone besides Indy. Like I don't care who they're playing right now. I'm going to pick Indianapolis. I think every week.
Well, especially without Kyler, I just can't see how. I mean,
Is
not
Kyler
that Kyler
out?
makes it that much better. Well,
He's looking like it.
He's leaning more towards out than in right now. Which I just Brissett. I don't know. It's that seeing that last year in New England. It's just it was so bad.
I'm interested to see what it does to the stars who you still have to like. You're still starting Marvin Harrison. You're still starting Trey McBride. And so like it'll be super interesting to see what happens. Like you'll be watching that game.
If he goes out and throws 300 yards, I'll be the first one to be like, "Holy! I couldn't believe that happened." But like just watching what he did with New England last year before Mac Jones got in there, it was just like,
but he didn't have weapons like this, right? He had a couple good tight ends, sure, or whatever, like, and some okay running backs. I mean, I like Stevenson as much as the next guy, but it's not like he made his job easier. Marvin Harrison and Trey McBride should make his job pretty damn easy.
We'll see.
So could be interesting. We'll see. I didn't realize Kyler was injured.
Yep, he is. Yeah, obviously
Colts,
Indiana wins, I think.
Super Bowl.
Colts Super Bowl. All right, moving on to Dallas versus Carolina. They are extremely mid couple of teams. Don't have much to say about this one either because
no, I got something to say. How did we not know to boost our guy, our fellow SEMO alum, Mr. Ryan Flournoy? We knew Turpin was out. Everybody was just like, it's Tolbert. That my man had 0 catches. But Ryan Flournoy led the team in receiving, catches, etc. We should have known. I'm so sad. We've had him in dynasty leagues. We've been talking about him on the pod for like no reason when nobody even knows who he is. And everyone knows who he is. And we had a chance to be those guys, and we didn't even tell everybody. I'm sorry, guys. We let you down.
Seeing his name in waiver wire pickup articles is just like surreal. It's just a surreal feeling seeing that because like he should other than Pickens, he should be a part of this offense. He's actually a good player. He just doesn't ever get enough time to show it. And now last week he got to actually like go out there and show some stuff with Dak. He looked great. I don't know why we wouldn't put him back out there again.
I think
it was really weird seeing him on the ticker on ESPN.
Yeah. If Turpin's out again, man, I think he's startable.
Yeah, I don't know why Turpin would be the guy over him anyway. But
Turpin was getting like
CD's probably out too. So
yeah, Turpin. Oh yeah, obviously CD as well. But Turpin was getting one deep shot and a couple of different targets. He was getting like 3 or 4 targets, and then he was getting kick return yards. So like fantasy wise, if you were at a kick return league, I was starting him. I was getting 11 points. It was a great flex. But now that I got a guy named Flournoy, I have a chance to actually get offensive points instead, and I'd rather have that. It's the end of the thing.
Heck, I love that. Using the name of the show. I love it. Carolina side, Jalen Coker is coming back. I know that there's a whole cokehead population out there that's like been waiting for this. And look, I'm happy for y'all. I hope you can snort up this weekend. But other than that, I'm not really that excited about Carolina. So, I thought what they did against Miami was a joke. But they won.
I was off of Coker. But after watching this team play, they need a Coker. Like I was kind of like, I don't think he's the answer. It's not Leggett. It's not Renfro. It wasn't Thielen before they got rid of him. And Tet's been fine, but I feel like there needs to be someone else. And maybe JT Sanders can be that guy as well. I know he's been injured for the last couple of games. Could be coming back this week. That could be fun. Not saying startable, but rosterable as a backup tight end in deep leagues. And like, if Coker comes back this week, like I'm not saying roll him out, but like I think he needs to be on teams.
Definitely needs to be.
I think so too. If he can play that Thielen role, plus the connection that we've seen him have with Bryce Young, I definitely see something come of that by the end of the season.
Yeah.
They're like a wide receiver short. I feel like they should have been like Keenan Allen on this team would have done fed all of the families in Carolina, but. Whatever. They didn't want to go old at any point, so good for them. Other than Hunter Renfrow, which I think still weird that he's there.
I didn't even know he was still in the league. One more thing, just to at least mention to all those people who sat Rico Dowdle and they picked him up off the waiver wire. I'm really sorry. It was really fun to have him in your lineup and probably win your league or week. Looking like Chuba's out again at this point. I don't see why they would rush him back at this point either after a 200-yard game by Rico. So you're starting Rico now at least.
Yep. Daily lineups, Dowdle all the way.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
But when Chuba
Oh,
does
here we
come
go.
back, what
It's-
happens?
Yeah, no, I don't know. But you sit.
I don't either because Dowdle's looked better than Chuba has at any point so far, but I don't know what to do with that information because I don't know. It's kind of like
I
trade.
imagine the
against Miami,
contract
so you
keeps
have to take
Chuba
it.
in the head, but
We just have to take it with a grain of salt because it was against Miami, too.
Well, that's also true.
But at the moment,
but-
if he is the only, outside of, Trevor Etienne, the only running back healthy here, you start him. I mean, you can't sit a guy after 200-yard game. It's like sitting Achane after his 200-yard game or whatever, 500 or 50-yard rushes that he had. If you sat him the next week, you were like, it's not happening again. And it did, like multiple times. So it could happen again. Who knows? Lightning has struck twice in the same spot. So
Okay.
Cowboys.
There was just a trade in the NFL, but it's a cornerback trade, so I don't really think it matters. But the Jags and the Browns just swapped cornerbacks. Jags got Greg Newsome, and the Browns got Tyson Campbell. But I don't know why, because Tyson Campbell was like really good for the Jags this season. I don't really understand why they would make this move. But whatever. It's
Greg
a
Newsome's
IDP
been better.
I mean,
yeah, I was
fair. Tyson Campbell's been doing really. I just picked him up to put him in at a spot on my cornerback spot in a couple leagues. So
Yeah,
that
this
is not what I
irrelevant.
expected.
This is not an offensive point. Did it again.
I'm not, just breaking news. Sorry, Josh. I mean,
It was breaking news, but it was breakingly boring. Just like the Eagles.
Okay. On to New England versus New Orleans. I promise you I'm not going to watch a second of this football game. But with that being said, Antonio Gibson heads to IR. Are they finally going to use Travion Henderson? I don't know what Travion Henderson has done to the offensive coordinator, but boy, would hate to be on his bad side if for anything else, because
All signs point to
Stevenson
no.
doesn't do anything, fumbles, barely gets any touches, and then the goal line situation, he snags all of the runs there. So I guess Travion's usable now because there's only two guys. I don't know if they traded for someone else to make this even more confusing, but I think you got to trust Travion Henderson, right? If you got him.
I think you put him in this week, and if it doesn't work, you sit him back on the bench and wait. Maybe even try to get him off your team. I don't know. I don't even know. It's sad because I'm talking redraft, not dynasty, obviously. It should be working. We watched Judkins. It's working. Travion ran behind that same line. It was working then. It's got to work at some point. I just don't know when. At the moment, he does have some pretty juicy matchups coming up, and then has to play Cleveland. But New Orleans and then Tennessee is just match made in heaven for a running back breakout campaign. So put him in your lineups this week. And if we're wrong, you were also wrong because you drafted him in the 4th or 5th round. So.
And then I think we need to address the Kamara slippage. He's another guy where I think why is he not available in a trade to one of these running back needy teams? Because it seems like Kendre Miller's coming. Gun to my head, would have never guessed that this is how the season would go, where Kendre Miller would all of a sudden be relevant for the Saints. But maybe they're looking towards the future. I don't get it at all, but I don't know how you can trust Kamara week in and week out if this is how this is going to lead, if this is where we're headed with the Kendre Miller situation.
This was a really bad game, so it's really hard to tell what's going to happen from it. The New Orleans Giants game, I don't really understand how Kendre ended up with more, but I feel like New Orleans was just winning that game at that point. I feel like the run game actually wasn't the plan. I don't think they ever planned to run against the Giants, which, to be fair, you probably shouldn't with their D line. But I do agree. I think the Kamara might be on the trade block for the Saints, and I don't know where he ends up going, but honestly, Kamara's not done. He doesn't look bad. I mean, he's looking exactly like what he is. He's just not getting the 7 to 8 passes a game.
Arizona would be fun. Be a good team. Go snag him.
Yeah. He did miss practice today, so this could be the Kendre Miller. Probably not against New England. New England's pretty tough, but
they are pretty stout. They just shut James Cook all the way off, so we'll see. I don't know. I've been seeing that every week, and it scares me because I have Kamara, and I'm at the same time just not ready to see Kamara go off into the great running back in the sky. I don't want to see that happen for him.
I don't think he's done though. I don't really think it's him. I think it's a usage thing, and I think it's this team playing catch up the whole time too. And you'd think that would make more for his passing numbers, but they're really not using any running back for passing numbers. It's just Rattler throwing it deep to whoever can catch a ball out there, and it's not a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't know if Rattler is such a weird quarterback to watch because he doesn't win these games other than the last one. But man, he looks solid at times. I just don't know if I fully am out or in. I don't know watching, but
it's a fun watch for sure.
It is. It's more like fun to watch rather than fun for fantasy. I feel like
I've got one for you guys that I just thought of.
Okay,
was this Stephon Diggs breaking out for the New England Patriots, or was this the Stephon Diggs revenge game that? He tried.
I think it's breaking out because I think Drake May is finding his way. I think we finally have Drake May realizing what kind of quarterback he needs to be successful, and what he's like. Oh wow, I have a wide receiver 1 out here. Where was he this whole season? It's buddy, he's been on the team since week 1. You just needed to throw the ball to him a little bit.
I don't think this is really.
He's healthy now too.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think it was more about just coming back from that ACL and really testing it out. I mean, you're seeing the same snap percentage actually, but still only playing 50% of snaps and getting 12 targets is just wild. That's amazing. So I assume this is only going to go up. I mean, obviously they're going to want to keep Diggs healthy, but that percentage might even creep up towards the 70s and 80s in the future. So yeah, he's definitely wide receiver 1 on this team, and it's clear
those catches last week
wide receiver 1 since
yeah. New England looks like a playoff team now, which is all right, here we go. I think New England wins. I would love for New Orleans to make a run here, but I think that New England wins.
This is a Saints win right here. I have this feeling this always happens whenever someone beats
back-to-back wins for the Saints.
Dude, well, whenever remember this was probably 8-10 years ago when Brady was playing and the Dolphins were the worst team in the division and beat the Patriots, and everyone was like, holy crap, maybe the Dolphins are good, and it was just one of those divisional games where they win. I think the Patriots are just, they're there and they're good and they're fun, but they can make mistakes, and I think Gibson actually played a pretty big role at the moment, so we'll see until they figure out how to unlock Travion. I think they lose this game.
I don't know what there is to figure out with Travion.
I don't either. Give him the ball 20 times.
I don't understand what we're waiting on here, but you're probably right. Next game on the slate is Cleveland-Pittsburgh. This is
going to be gritty.
It is going to be a fist fight out there.
Quite literally.
Aaron Rodgers off of a bye does make me feel good. But I want to start in Cleveland. Jerry Jeudy struggled with Dylan Gabriel. There's no other way to say it. He was out-targeted by Njoku and what's his name? The rookie. No,
Bond.
Bond. But Jerry Jeudy is clearly the best player on the team. So you would think with Dylan, or best wide receiver on the team. So with Gabriel, you were kind of thinking maybe it would go up. It was in England, so maybe that's something different also. But what are you doing with Jerry Jeudy? You think it's a buy low? I'm considering buying him at this price because I think the person may be out on him. But what do you guys think?
It's a great add-on to a trade. I'm not trying to go out and target Jerry Jeudy because I don't even know what I'd give for Jerry Jeudy right now. But if I was hey, I'm giving you a slightly better running back, I'll take your Jerry Jeudy as a kicker.
Here's a trade that I offered, and I don't know, maybe it's not a good one, but I kind of like it for different reasons. But I offered DJ Moore for Jerry Jeudy.
I'd take the DJ Moore side personally.
So my thought process is DJ Moore is clearly the wide receiver 2, and at times is not really used out there. Whereas Jerry Jeudy is kind of a lottery ticket. Because say Shedeur gets out there and he looks a whole hell of a lot better than Dylan Gabriel. Maybe that unlocks. He is the wide receiver 1 on this team, whereas DJ Moore is the entrenched wide receiver 2. So my thought process is maybe you end up with a guy that's going to get a lot more target share in the future rather than a guy who's not going to get more than 5 to 6 per game.
I'd rather
You're right about the overall upside on Jeudy. I do like that. But again, this might be – it's just Fannin and Njoku and Quinshon. I mean, That's
Yeah,
until
that's
we
true,
see
too.
a Shador come
Yeah,
in.
I mean, my logic is they're both bench players, so I'd rather have the bench player on the team that's going to throw the ball 30 times a game. And whether that's a Roma Dunze injury that leads him into a situation, or I don't want this to happen, but like if something like that happened, or Burden went down or something, or even a tight end went down, maybe DJ Moore gets a couple more targets, something happens. Like I'd rather take that over someone figuring out a healthy Jerry Jeudy. And the best, it's not like there's another target that should be stealing his targets. Like we know he's going to hit at some point, but he's going to be hitting on people's benches. And it's like, we need consistency out of someone. Like at least DJ Moore's at least going out there and getting 9 points a game. I could start him in a pinch if need be. Maybe he gets a touchdown to get that 16 or 15. But yeah, I hate this for Jeudy. Like bring back.
Well, I mean, they've been the same guy. I think they're ranked like one spot, like throughout the season. I think they're ranked one spot away from each other. So it's not like one's been.
No. I'm just saying I'd rather take the one on the team that I know is going to be throwing the ball and actually getting the ball to their wide receivers. But bring back Jameis, and then I'm all in on Jeudy.
Again, Shador. Just maybe try Shador out there. See what we got there. Yeah. I don't know why they would leave Gabriel out there to be.
I don't know why they're doing this to make a lesson out of Shador at this point. Dylan Gabriel looked bad at the end of the day. Like
he did. And if he can't beat out for Dylan Gabriel, Shador can't, then that should say all you needed to say. C right there. All right. Pittsburgh, we could quickly hit it. The Gainwell-Warren split. Do we trust both? Do we trust none? Do we think it's just going to be Warren now that he's back from injury? What's our
I actually think they're both startable in the future, but the good news is I don't think you want to start either one of them against Cleveland's run defense. So you get a little week to find out. Hopefully you're not hurting for either Warren or Gainwell. I hope you're not that desperate. But if you are, Godspeed to you.
Warren's been solid.
Yeah, they've been solid, but then Gainwell had the breakout game, so like I don't really want to touch them.
Yeah.
The good news is you got like you're going to get pass catching points, so like I just don't know how much they get yardage wise. I feel like it's going to be gross. One of them's going to get a touchdown for sure, but who is that? I don't know at the moment. I think let's see what the split looks like now that Gainwell had his breakout and they've had a week to rest Warren. So.
Yeah, Josh, I like your take there. Just don't start him this week and try to see what the hell happens.
Fair enough. And then I just want to tack it on. We can make it quick. What is Caleb Johnson's current dynasty value? Like, if you drafted him, are you just holding him because you've wasted one of your first-round picks, or are you just trying to flip him and see what you can get? Because I don't think he's getting on the field this year.
No, you gotta look at him like he's Jonathan Brooks, right? Wait till he's healthy.
Man,
he's not injured. He's not injured, but it feels like he is.
Well, I know, but it's just like, oof, that's tough.
Well, I meant the first time Jonathan Brooks got injured. Let's put it that way. Sorry. Like,
okay, fair enough.
You drafted him as a futures project. You didn't, and that's what he is now. So hopefully it's something. I mean, we haven't even seen him, so it's not like he's bad, but they obviously think so. So I don't know. Maybe this is just something to build for Rodgers to have more pass catching type backs. Maybe this team turns into a different team where Caleb can actually have a role whenever they get a better quarterback. Or new quarterback.
Pull out your phone. Offer Hassan Haskins in a third for Caleb Johnson right now. Put him on your bench until next year.
See, I don't hate that. Just the thought process of it wise. Caleb Johnson, I feel like we needs to be a lesson for after the season of like, maybe we don't just draft these rookies high in redraft just because of our vibes. Like, just if the vibes, like, I don't know. I just don't like how this has shaped up because people in redraft legitimately probably tank their draft because they drafted this guy in the 5th round and he's not going to see the field and he could have gotten somebody who's starting on your team. And that's really disappointing. But Dynasty Brain, this is one of the biggest ones I've ever seen.
RJ Harvey's up there too. I mean, I know he's getting more touches than
that's
Caleb.
That's true too.
Yeah, like, he hasn't done anything to where I'm like worth a 5th round pick.
Yeah, no, RJ is another one where I'm just like, I think we made Dynasty Brain a little too hard on that one. Unfortunately.
Yeah, definitely did. Browns win.
Ooh, okay. I'm going Pittsburgh.
I was going to go Pittsburgh as well. But
if Aaron Rodgers loses, Dylan,
Browns could win, man.
I guess it's a defensive battle, but like I'm just like if Dylan Gabriel beats Aaron Rodgers at home,
Gabriel's going to get chewed up and swallowed by TJ Watt like 3 times. So
does seem that way. But we'll see.
You might see Shedeur this week.
That is a good.
Brought to you by TJ Watt.
Call. Definitely could. All right. On to a lame game. Tennessee versus Las Vegas. I can't think of a worse game than this one right here. Geno's done. He is a cooked chicken, and I don't really know what they do for the rest of the season. The person I feel worse about, the person I feel the worst for is Ashton Genty, because he does not deserve this. I know what the pressure we all put on him. He does not deserve to be on the worst offense in football, because this is without Brock Bowers, which they're going to be missing again this week. You were like, oh, okay, maybe Jacoby Myers gets like a healthy, crazy work share. Nope, because Geno Smith stinks. And no, it was the Trey Tucker show. And I don't know. I just don't know what to say about Las Vegas anymore. It's not good.
Yeah, I mean, you can't even go to the Jacoby Myers train because, he's not doing anything, which nobody's doing anything in this passing offense.
Nope. And poor Ashton Genty. Other than that, Tennessee, I just want to mention the name Gunnar Helm. He's been seeing an uptick, it feels like week after week. And I do think that he might be usable. Maybe not this week. Maybe it's going to be another week or two. But I do feel like with the tight end in the way that it is right now, he might be a guy that you can trust eventually at some point, just to get you some points where some of these tight ends aren't doing anything.
Actually, I think this is the only team in the NFL that I would never want to start a single player on right now. Now with Tyjae Spears coming back, like at least we had, Pollard where it was like, okay, he can go for 11. Maybe there's something better. Yeah. But now with Spears back, I don't want anyone to start on my team. Iomanor and Ridley, like they've had their separate okay-ish games. Ridley caught that 30-yard catch at the end. I feel like people are going to put Ridley in their lineups because of that catch to win the game. Yeah. Or set them up for the win. I don't want a single person on the Titans on my roster, much less
unless they fire the coach.
That's I mean, Iomanor is the one
fire the coach. Yeah, it's like Iomanor. Lockett, fumble recovery touchdown. Never know when you're going to get one of those.
Yeah, okay.
on your team. This is an ugly game. Won't be watching a second of this one either, probably, by the way. This is in the
3:00 window, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. They're hiding this one.
Titans.
Vegas wins.
I go Raiders.
Okay. I don't love that,
this one in the bag.
I'd love to see Ward throw for 300 yards and figure out the receiving core. But
that would be awesome. The waiver wire would be a bloodbath if that happened. All right, San Francisco at Tampa Bay. Baker continues to just win them at the buzzer. I don't know how this is. I mean, maybe this is the Chiefs last year, except for one. But he had a chance. That's the crazy thing is he did have a chance to do it, and he just didn't. By the way, I think he might be an MVP candidate, which I'm like, wow, I can't believe I would have ever had Baker Mayfield being an MVP guy. But based on the season everybody else is having, he might be in there by default.
Well, if he's playing the game till the end every game, then yeah,
that's also true.
A chance to get those stats and those not to mention like how many fourth quarter comebacks is he going to have at the end of the year? Like, I know it's not a stat
because it's got to be either him or Josh Allen at this point, but I don't know. The only storyline I wanted to have for this is what to do with Kendrick Bourne. Obviously, last week he had like one of the most insane. I thought it was going to be Demarcus Robinson personally, but no, it was the Kendrick Bourne show from start to finish. Him and McCaffrey were out there. Mac Jones actually looked really good. I thought like he looked better than Brock Purdy, dare I say. I know it was 1 week and it was against the Rams, which is actually a pretty decent team. But
dude,
the way he was throwing the ball was crazy.
The Mac Jones love on the internet was just amazing. I love how people rally around a, NFL reject, for lack of better words. Like, it's great to see like people actually start sticking up for Mac Jones. Also, I don't know how many bananas he ate on the sideline, but there's lots of jokes about that on the internet.
The fact that he was like physically falling apart and just kept coming back for more was
it was
that's what you love.
I texted you all the future quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders. We're watching right here on the field.
Please.
For
I'd be excited about that right now. Anyway, back to Kendrick Bourne. I will say, I think we all kind of knew Kendrick Bourne was good. Him and Tim Patrick, the guys who were just like the scrappy wide receivers,
the grinders,
on the team, the third, the fourth guy, and then finally get a shot to do it when injuries come. Good news is you get to do it again. And Tampa Bay is, you can throw against Tampa Bay. So Bourne's probably going to do it again this week. Now, what to do when Kittle and Pierce all come back, I don't know. Even if Purdy plays this game,
I don't know.
I was going to say, if Purdy comes back, I still think he's got to have a role, right? I mean, obviously, quarterbacks have their favorite targets, but I feel like there's still a role for Bourne. I mean, it's not going to.
He looked incredible. Like, he was open so much. I was shocked at how much separation he was getting. I was like, how did you not do this for the Patriots? But whatever, that's a story for another day. But yeah, no, he looked great. Going forward, if they never get Ayuk back, like, I feel like this guy, it should be Bourne, Parasol, Kittle. Like, I think that's the guys you roll with.
Jennings is still
agree.
Fair, but
Jennings is.
Jennings
I have to say it again. He's not an NFL wide receiver.
Yep, this year. That's the new not an NFL player is Jennings. Love that. Love that take. Yeah, and on the Tampa Bay side, Emeka Egbuka just keeps doing it every week. I know you guys are out completely on him, but
no, I'm out whenever all three are healthy. Definitely not out when he's.
I know you guys hate him and don't think he's ever going to play football again at a good pace, but it's undeniable almost.
Okay,
it's undeniable.
No, it's wild how
I just love the people that are still trying to talk against Egbuka after what he's put on the field. I mean, we basically were like, hey, when there's three guys there, and Godwin's going to come back. He's just came off an injury, hasn't played in over a year. He's going to come back. It's going to get a little bit like, who is it this week? He's not going to completely go away. But I love the people still trying to victory lap their takes that he is not a good wide receiver for some reason.
Yeah,
I just can't believe my friend Jalen McMillan is never going to be a thing again. He should get traded. Honestly,
to be fair, he got injured, so
he did. I'm just saying, like, he's not getting in there now. He's not. I do owe that. Damn it.
No, you took the fireball shot.
You did take that.
Did I really?
Yeah, you did it right.
He owes you a fireball shot.
Oh yeah, he definitely does. Man, what could I have done?
We'll talk to Jalen later.
Yeah, Tampa wins this.
Dude, San Francisco's scrappy and keeps winning these games.
They're scrappy.
But, like, they can't win this one, right? Like, Tampa should be able to take them.
The only thing that they have is, like, Rachaad White can't do what he did last week again. There's just no way. I don't believe it. So if they don't have a run game, maybe we start talking about it. But I don't know. I think Tampa still got it at home.
Yeah, honestly, like the injury. We talk about the injury team for San Francisco. They should all be fired. But the Kyle Shanahan hate is just wild. This team should not be the record they are right now. So that is all Kyle Shanahan and coaching staff. So
definitely not. All right, America's game of the week, which was definitely better with Joe Burrow when they play in this one, but it's Cincinnati at Green Bay. They do have Joe Flacco now. So the rare interdivision trade between the Browns and the Bengals sent Joe Flacco to the Bengals to start this week. I do think it says a whole hell of a lot that the Browns were willing to give it to somebody they play twice a year. Definitely feel like that speaks volumes to how they feel about Joe Flacco. But I do think this maybe has an uptick a little bit for the wide receivers. Like, I don't know if it's going to be great, but probably better than Browning, right?
Should be. I mean, we'll see. Joe Flacco did get benched after, 3 weeks in the Browns? So 4 weeks
he did,
Browns,
and he couldn't get it to – however, like your argument was earlier, the Browns receivers versus the Bengals receivers, there's quite a bit of a talent gap there.
He should be able to get it to Jamar Chase 15 times, which will be super
I would
fun.
hope so.
I bet Joe Flacco was like, I'm going to just retire. And then Cincinnati was like, you want to throw it to Jamar Chase for a little while? And he was like,
right.
That does sound
We got a Higgins. We don't have a Quinshawn in the backfield, however, but we have a Gesicki. You want to throw it to him?
It does look like he lost a little bit of arm strength.
Oh, for sure.
From what we saw at the Browns. I know, but I mean, as long as they let him sling it, that's like my biggest thing is, are they going to run a really conservative game here where it's
conservative
like, oh, he just came in
what,
midweek?
Joe? No. What are they going to do conservative?
Jesus Christ,
they give Chase Brown 30 runs?
No, they need to get Taj Brooks involved at this shit. I'm just saying, are they going to try to be like, let's try to grind out a win here? Or are they just going to be like, dude, you're 40, go chuck it, man.
Fair
Go
enough.
chuck it.
Fair enough.
All right,
It's
so
just like, what are they going to do? More dump offs to Chase Brown? Like that's all Chase Brown's out there for is just 3-yard dump off passes. Like that's all he can do.
We're going to talk about Chase Brown because it's the annual Josh hates Chase Brown segment. I saw something on Twitter by Ian Hartitz, and it was most touches this season without a 15+ yard gain. And it was Tyrone Tracy in third place with 30, Dylan Sampson in second place with 31, and at number 1, Chase Brown with 83 touches without getting to 15 yards of play or one play. Wild. Like, honestly, that's just such a wild stat that the gap is 50 away from each other. I know that this team's been bad.
Well, the O-line is just abhorrent, which is why I'm not sure Joe Flacco was the answer here, because you need somebody who's going to be able to scramble out of how bad this O-line is. But still, you would think Chase Brown, just by accident, maybe the wind blew the wrong way and a guy was like just tripped over his own feet, would it just accidentally get you 15 yards on one run. But no, it's been a rough go for our guy Chase Brown. It definitely.
I think this is outside of Chase Brown. I just had to bring it up. But the wildest thing is that there was news reports of them trying out all these quarterbacks. I don't remember the list, but there was like 3 or 4 quarterbacks, and they said this is not to replace Jake Browning. And then they trade for Joe Flacco the next day and replace Jake Browning. Which
I can't believe they ditched Mickey Blanco. He was on their practice squad apparently, and they just released him. And I was like, he didn't give a chance over Browning. Mike White is better. Mickey Blanco is better than Jake Browning. Sorry. Full stop. I don't know what we were doing, not at least trying him out for a game to see what happens.
Anyway, fire up all of Green Bay because that'll be super fun for them. Their defense is kidding. Trash, regardless of what Joe Flacco does. If Joe Flacco scores more points, it's even more points for the Packers. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun all around.
The only thing I have for the Packers is you guys. Well, I mean,
want to see him.
Joe, the thing is,
snaps all year is ridiculous.
I think they don't want to get him hurt. Like, they just don't want to injure him because they know how bad the O-line is. They're like, let's just save this for next year. We'll ditch Chase Brown and we'll fire up Brooks next season.
No, I think Taj will get some play at some point. I think they have to realize that, right? Like, they'll be like, oh, Joe Flacco's here and he's still not doing good. Maybe we try out the other one.
We'll see. Do you guys think with Doug's
trade for DeMarcado right now? Sorry, Bill.
Probably so.
Bill's face when he gets interrupted is so funny.
No, it's fine. No, it's all good. I think Packers win.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Packers as well. Although it would be hilarious if they lost to Cleveland and Cincinnati.
On all time, I think Gerald would have to disavow the Packers if they lose this game.
He's got some friends that are Bengals fans too, so it'll be great. All right, we're finally in the night games. That's fun.
Yep. Detroit versus Kansas City, which might be a fun game because like Patrick Mahomes is actually slinging the ball downfield, which was, I feel like, the biggest development of the Jacksonville game. Watching Pat Mahomes throw long passes, I was like, this is like seeing a unicorn run through my front yard. Like, I cannot believe what I'm watching right now. But it was fun. And when he gets Rice back, I think we'll finally see the full plethora of the Chiefs offense if Nagy decides to actually do it for a change.
Yeah, I feel bad for all those people rushing and getting Tyquan Thornton right now, by the way, because it's like, that's not sustainable once we have Rice and a healthy Worthy.
To an end. It's coming to an end, but it was fun while it lasted. Basically with KC, we have a 3-headed backfield that I don't think anyone wants any part of, correct? I mean, Pat Mahomes is the leading rusher last game. I don't think I want any part of these guys.
So the fun fact is Brashard Smith is now getting more play. The snap percentage isn't there, but every time he's on the field, he gets the ball, it seems like. So he had 3 catches for 30 yards, 3 catches for 20 yards the week before, and getting a couple carries here and there. Kareem Hunt stealing and poaching touchdowns, and then Isaiah Pacheco is running for 5 yards per carry every game on 7 carries. I don't get it. Like, why not see what Pacheco has to offer? But honestly, that's neither here nor there. And I mean, yes, go see what Brashard Smith has. Sure, let Kareem Hunt poach the touchdowns, but give Pacheco some more runs, man. It's so silly. But yeah, don't start any of them. Sorry. Yeah. It's this
Pacheco is good.
Pacheco is good.
Hurts.
Okay.
He needs to get off his team. Trade Pacheco. That'd be great.
Yeah.
He'd be sick. He won't do it.
On the Detroit side, though, dude, speaking of completely unusable, Jameson Williams, dude. Like,
Yeah.
You cannot start him. And the worst part is like this game, right? This is like the game where it'd be like, yeah, this is his game. He's going to do it. And if you start him, he's not going to. But if you just put him on your bench and he's just going to go off and get his like 3 touchdowns and 60 yards per catch, it's going to be amazing. And you know what? That's just fine. At this point, I hope you haven't started him all year like I have. It's been really embarrassing. I'm like, yeah, but this is the game. I'm still gonna put him in this week. I hate it, but like after this, I'm just officially writing the book.
Well, what's crazy about the Lions is their offense is better this year than it was last year with Ben Johnson. So it's like, shouldn't everyone on the team be eating? But it does feel like we've now gone like Laporta couldn't be involved, so it was Jameson Williams. Now it's flip-flop where like we're gonna get Laporta involved and no Jameson Williams. It's like, why can't we do both? Like, why does it have to be one or the other?
But Laporta's not even that involved. He had 3 games with 4 targets. Like,
true, but I'm just saying, like, it feels like who would I trust over each other in this game? And like, I would trust Laporta. I just feel like that's a good.
Now it was against Cincinnati, so like, yeah, sure, last game at least. Like Jameson probably should have been on your bench as it is, but this is against KC, and the next one against Tampa Bay is going to be like, this is the make or break for if Jameson is even worth rostering in redraft. Outside of that, he's just Deshaun Jackson late in the career where it's like, yeah, it'd be fun. Maybe a weekly fill-in from a free agency standpoint. But, yeah, you can't do it on these kind of targets.
True. I think the Lions win.
I'm going to pick the Lions as well, but honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if this is just a close game and it comes down to a penalty call for KC to win, even though Mahomes bitched about the refs.
Not happening. It's not happening enough for them. Honestly, they got
a free touchdown last week against the Jaguars.
I know, and they still lost. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like they're getting the call, but it's not helping them actually win this time. So I don't know.
True. It was a little too early to get that free call was the problem. It just brought them back in the game, much less win the game for them.
Right. Should have been a bigger loss.
Chiefs at home.
Okay, Chiefs at home. All right, on to the duo Monday Night Football games. I wish we had a reasoning for why they do. What is the reasoning for picking random Mondays to do this on? But whatever. We have 2 this week. Actually, fun games, I think, for both of them.
Yeah.
Buffalo, Atlanta is the earlier one. Going into this game, I'm kind of interested to see what Atlanta looks like now. I mean, Bijan, I think, is a monster, but like, what can Penix look like against a good team? Because the problem is their team is going to make or break on whether Penix is good, and so far it's been more bad than good. If you guys don't agree.
Well, he's thrown for 300 yards on teams that have good offenses, or at least or supposedly should have good offenses. Washington's a little hairy last week, but did throw for. Or two weeks ago. That was Marcus Mariota led Washington. So like you have to imagine he's going to end up fantasy wise relevant, but is the football going to look good, right? Like he's going to end up with 300 yards probably, or damn near close to it. But it's like, is the game actually going to look good? Is the game, can he win this football game? And the answer is he should be able to. I mean, he has the weapons. This defense doesn't really do a whole lot for Buffalo and really just keeps him in the games. The dump offs to Bijan are really padding his stats. I think the first game he had 100 yards to Bijan in receiving, and then I think the Washington game he did another pretty big chunk to Bijan. So really that's padding his stats a lot, but this is the game where he should be able to unleash the ball to London, Mooney, Pitts, everyone's healthy, or should be at least. Even Ray McLeod can get involved for all I care. Like just throw the ball and throw it well, throw it smart. Like I want to see Penix succeed in this league, and so far he has not.
I would suggest anyone go make sure Algier wasn't dropped during the bye week. Just pick him up and add him to your bench just in case, because he is obviously a premier
startable
backup. And exactly, he might be a flex play in certain situations. So definitely go make sure he wasn't dropped during the bye week if somebody needed a roster spot.
Good point. Yeah, outside of that,
just 8 stars in pro, he'll be fine.
I hope so, man. I want it to be. I'm just nervous right now. It has not looked great. Hopefully that bye week does them some justice. And then the Bills, you know who to start. The Kincaid being tight end 2 on the league on the year so far is just wild to me. Like I drafted him as my backup tight end. I'm feeling very happy about that because Ingram did not pan out.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like you can trust anyone week to week. It feels like Josh Allen's just never going to have a wide receiver one because he doesn't want one. He just doesn't. He's going to throw it to
he probably does
whoever
it
he's
on
feeling.
purpose. He's like, yeah, Keon Coleman's open for that, but I can throw to Shakir
Yeah.
and just change everything this week.
And where it's like, you know what? Shakir's doing a little bit too much. Let's get Josh Palmer involved. Like, it's just, it feels random every week. With
The cool
who
thing is
gets these
the
passes.
Bills are always going to be scoring enough to where all of them can get a share and still do all right. 50 yards and a touchdown is still better than, some of the other crap you got to deal with. So I love a good flex play for like one of the top receivers for Buffalo.
Yeah. I think Buffalo wins.
I'm going to go shot in the dark and pick Atlanta. I doubt it, but it'd be fun. And I hope so for their sake. They need that.
Would be cool.
He said Buffalo.
Oh, okay.
Buffalo.
On to Chicago versus Washington. This is the anniversary game of the Fail Mary that happened last season, sadly enough. Sorry, Joe. Didn't mean to bring that up, but that's what happened.
I forgot.
I mean, it just is. This is the number 1 pick of last year's draft versus the number 2 pick. Obviously, we're going to have a lot of storylines going into this game that involved that. Joe, how are you feeling about the Bears in general right now, coming off a bye?
They're going to have a chip on their shoulder this week. I think everyone's kind of had this circled on their calendar after what happened last year. So I expect them to come out with some spice and some vigor. Now, Washington's probably the better football team. I'm just going to go out and say it. I mean, Jaden Daniels, McLaurin's probably not going to play. But no, I think it'll be a close game most of the time. And the Bears absolutely can win it if they continue to, they were very resilient against the Raiders, but they should not have won that game. Hopefully they got some stuff figured out in the bye week. They're going to have Kyler Gordon back. They're going to have TJ Edwards hopefully this week. So people are getting healthy at the right time, but it's hard to get too excited from a Bears perspective.
I actually disagree with you, Joe. I think the Bears are the better team right now without McLaurin. Without McLaurin, like if McLaurin's there, sure, but like they don't have a passing identity right now. Washington, like we have Luke McCaffrey catching 1 deep ball a game. Name another receiver on that team, and I'll tell you why they suck. But there just is no passing identity to this team right now, and I don't like it. I don't want to be a part of it. McLaurin's the only thing that holds it together for the most part. Ja'Cory coming out of nowhere, Bill, our friend Bill. Obviously, yeah, that's super fun. Debo's super fun, but like I just don't see this as. If you just have Debo running routes out there, you should be able to stop him, right? I mean, I know your secondary is not the strongest, i.e. the Bears, but I think shutting down Debo shouldn't be that hard in my eyes.
But honestly, teams do not even have to throw the football against the Bears. Maybe with TJ Edwards back, it'll be fine, but I'm a little worried. I think Jakrowski Merritt's going to break a bunch of hearts this week because he still only played 47% of snaps last week.
I agree.
It wasn't like,
by the way.
It wasn't like, hey, you got 80% of the carries. Yeah, let's go. It was like he did real good with what he got. Let's see if that continues. But it's a great opportunity for the Commanders' running backs against the Bears because the Bears cannot stop anyone. We made Ashton Genty look like LaDainian Tomlinson in his prime, and he hasn't done shit since then. So I don't even think you're going to have to pass on them.
Sounds like a McNichols or Chris Rodriguez 50-yard touchdown written all over it, and every McCroskey owner is going to be mad.
100%. Joe, I don't know. I feel like your Bears are better than you give them credit for. Like they should have beat Minnesota week 1, and they should be 3-1. I don't think they're the top of the NFC, but I think they're middle of the pack, wild card, 6-7 seed fighting kind of team. I don't know. I think they could definitely go for that.
We all kind of put the Commanders coming in as not going to be able to do what they did last year, and obviously injuries have kind of rattled their beginning of the season. But you got Jaden Daniels coming back to be healthy here, and our boy Odunze's got a touchdown in every game right now, and it's looking pretty cool, and that's even more than a touchdown in a game at this point. So 1.25 touchdowns per game is just a weird stat that I would never have assumed Odunze to have, or any Bear receiver that is.
Yeah. If you sold Odunze last year because you were getting kind of like mad about his usage with Keenan Allen and DJ Moore, oh boy, you made a big mistake because I think this is the wide receiver 1 on this team going forward. Joe, just looking at the Bears schedule coming up here. So after the Commanders, they have the Saints, very winnable. They're playing the Ravens. Their defense is terrible. Caleb can look great.
Yeah.
They play the Bengals after that with Joe Flacco. That's very winnable. They play the Giants after that. Another, very winnable game. Joe, your Bears could be like 6-2 after all that. Because after that, they play J.J. McCarthy, and y'all almost beat them the first time around. So I'm not going to trust that they can do that twice.
Yeah. No, I do think this team's absolutely trending in the right direction.
So I don't know.
And he's somehow going to put up 60 points on us. It's going to be like prime Aaron Rodgers.
I'm just saying, could you all be 7-3 after that stretch? It's within the realm of possibility. That's all I'm saying. Bears' schedule is very soft.
No, for sure. I think the team is trending in the right direction. I don't think we're there yet.
I don't think you're giving your team enough credit at the moment, personally, but I say Bears win this game.
I mean, the Raiders almost beat us. We blocked a field goal.
It's true. Y'all beat the Cowboys, though.
Yeah.
The Cowboys are out here steamrolling teams at the moment.
Yeah.
Commanders don't look worth a damn. So, I don't know, Joe. I'm in on the Bears. I think they can do this.
Yeah.
I know you're a Bears fan.
I've had this for a long time, man.
I think it's finally time for you.
I do have a Caleb Williams jersey.
Oh, well, it's not getting prime
It
placement.
just doesn't.
No, it's always Justin Fields Day.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I have a Justin Fields jersey.
In this house, it's Justin Fields Day all the time.
Can't say much. I wish we could do a Caleb Williams is good shirt, but I think we're still a little while away from that. Picking up steam. Yeah.
I don't look good in orange, personally.
I don't think so. Anyway, that's week 5 or week 6. Whoop, week off there. I'm not gonna lie. There's not I don't love the slate as a whole. I feel like we have 1 or 2 really good games, and then the rest of this is kind of a mess. But also, like, the NFL as a whole doesn't feel like there's any like great teams this season. Like there's teams that have had flashes, but great teams is hard to say yes or no. What, Josh? Why are you looking at who's the best team in the AFC right now? The Bills.
The Bills. Yeah, they lost a division
easily.
Game. I feel like everyone. No, I feel like the thing about the NFL is everyone.
Look what Baltimore did to them. By the way, Baltimore's an ass team, and they
100%. They were healthy at the time. They were healthy at the time. Buffalo Bills are the best team in football right now, and that's clear as day. Just because they lost a game, it doesn't mean that they're not good anymore. That's my thing. Is people hang on to the undefeated teams. I'm actually kind of glad the Eagles lost because now we don't have to do the undefeated talk anymore. That season 2-3 years ago, whatever, whenever they went 11-0, that was the most annoying thing every week. When are they going to lose? When are they going to lose? Now it's over. We don't have to do that anymore. Same with the Bills.
I don't know.
The Bills
they barely beat the Ravens. They, as Joe said, they got a lot scarier than the Saints made it, the final score made it seem. The Dolphins did good things against them. I don't know. I don't believe in the Bills as much as I believe in, they haven't played any good teams yet, and they've been struggling with bad teams. So
yeah,
I think when they actually start playing the good teams on their schedule, they're going to get humbled.
As a person without an NFL team, I don't expect you to get it,
Okay. I'm still watching the games. Buccaneers, I think they're good, but they're flawed. Eagles, they're good, but they're flawed.
Lions, the Eagles are actually the most dangerous team in the NFL because if they figure it out, everyone's fucked. Because it's back to back. If the Eagles figure it out, because there's nothing wrong with the team and actually physical attributes. Mentally, I don't know what the hell's going on, but physically, you still got Saquon, you still got.
They just need to have a fight club. Maybe
after they had a team meeting.
That's not good enough though. We need to do an actual.
I feel like
fight
what
club.
happened was Saquon went in and played therapist with Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown. Sat down and was like, "Listen, AJ, I hear that you're hurt, and Hurts, listen, I hear that you can only say one-liners that don't make any sense. So we need to work together as a team. I want to win another Super Bowl and prove that I was the best asset to the Giants. I'm still Saquon. I don't know what happened behind the closed doors, but I'm glad it's happening.
That's what needs to happen. We need
to put
Fight Club fist to face. That's how we solve these problems for the Eagles.
Dude, could you imagine AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts actually fighting Like,
man, it would be
celebrity boxing match.
a fun brawl. But see, that's what needs to be happening behind the scenes. But nobody touched Devonta Smith. That guy's made of glass. Anyway,
he's not made of glass. He's just tiny.
He's very small. Yeah, exactly. Small guy. Can you imagine him in a fight with either one of them?
No, but I can imagine him in a fight with like I don't know, Britton Covey type guy.
13-year-old?
No, Britton Covey's like 5'9".
Okay,
Turner last year.
Exactly. Fair enough. All right. Let's get out of here. Joe, get us out of here.
Good night.